What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are on this, the 19th of April. Chilling right now, you guys. Chilling at about $2.08. Not a whole lot has happened, unfortunately, over the past few days here. We do have a pattern, a little known pattern here. I think this is a bull flag pattern. It might be more obvious on a 12-hour note, yeah. Kind of. It kind of looks like one, but you moved up here. Here's your flagpole. Here's your flag, right? Little bull flag pattern right there. A lot of cryptos these days, I feel like, have seen a bull flag maneuver over the past week or so. If this is a bull flag, relatively speaking, and I think it might be. It's just not a pretty one, but it looks to be like one. It seems to be behaving like one, at least with this consolidation phase. This bull flag measure move would take you to about $2.66 if you were to break out from here to the upside. And I think that you will. I actually think Bitcoin's on its way to breaking out higher. I think that we're on our way to 90,000 plus, and I really think that this could be an opportunity for XRP to get above $2.55. 255, you guys, is a very important area, because at that price, at 255, you get above this daily high close here on a closing period, you validate this as a low. Remember, we still haven't validated that low yet. It's possible you could go below this low. I don't think you will. I'm very comfortable and very confident in calling for this to be the low, but we haven't validated it yet. Seeing this measure move of this relative bull flag here going up to about $2.66, that's incredibly validating. It's very nice to see, because you would see prices above this high here, and likely not just above prices there, but you would also see a breakout of this kind of overall downtrend, which would likely ignite this bullish kind of thought for XRP to continue moving to new all-time highs and getting you set up for this very bullish month of May and June going into each other there. If we're looking at XRP here on the crypto chart, the overall crypto chart, I want to take a look back at what we did here in 2017, 2018, okay? It's very similar and very different, okay? I want to just first off say that this right here, from a low to a high, is not happening again, okay? That was a crazy, you guys, you saw over a 1,000x in a very short amount of time from a low to a high. That was a crazy amount of growth. Okay, we're not going to see that again. But in the spirit of comparing things, we did have a rather large slice of pie here, right, that we were consolidating. And it doesn't seem as large as this one, that's for sure, right? That's a much larger consolidation phase here. But hey, from August 2013 until February 2017, that's a long time. When you broke out of this, you saw some phenomenal growth. Your RSI grew all the way up here. You got way overbought, and you came down and you found support out of the overbought zone. You found support right there, right? Basically right there, right at that line there, okay? Broke out, consolidated, continued, okay? Overbought, out of the overbought zone, found support here, continued to grow, okay? Now, we have a much larger consolidation phase, and I didn't draw the lines as pretty, but you can see it, right? Much larger slice of pizza here, okay? We've broken out of that recently, and like this last time, we got overbought, dramatically overbought, right? We saw readings that were up at the 90s. We came all the way back down, and we're actually, I need to move this line up, we're actually finding support right now at the exact same area that we found support before, where we found resistance even, a somewhat significant area for XRP for whatever reason. 64.4 on the monthly read seems to be a significant area. Maybe it's because I have it set to a 10 read. Should I put it at 14? What's it say at 14? It's still at a 64. Is that right? Maybe the monthly just doesn't change as much. I don't know. That doesn't seem right, but hey, whatever, man. Anyways, if we move back up to the overbought zone, and I think that we will, I'm not saying that we're going to see 1 month that grows 746%. I am saying that we're going to see things get crazy, man. We're going to see some crazy stuff happen. Continuation of this move, and I think that it'll actually be larger. We're going to see an all-time high breakout, new all-time highs that we haven't seen in multiple cycles now. Continuation of this multi-cycle consolidation phase, right? Let alone a multi-year consolidation phase. This is a multi-cycle consolidation phase. If you were to move up this much from a low to a high, that'd be a 16x overall from a low to a high here. That puts you up at $30. And here's the deal. Here's my thoughts on this, is that I don't think we're going to $30 by the end of this next move. I don't think that that's going to happen by the end of June, right? The next move is expected to happen soon, basically this week, and going into the end of April, and then going into May and June. By the end of June, we're expecting this next move to achieve maturity. But what I do expect overall is something between now and the end of the cycle that's larger than what we saw here on this breakout, right? I don't think that we stop at $30. I think that we do see prices that are above $40 by the end of the cycle for XRP. That's the expectation. But the end of this next move, I think it'll be smaller than this. I don't think that we'll see a 700% month. I don't think that we're going to move up 16x, right? I think that we will stop somewhere around 12 bucks, 13 bucks, 17 bucks, somewhere in that area from a high to a low. We do have, and if you look at this, this is actually very, very damn similar, right there to the golden ratio. But we do have the 1414 here at 13.57. We have the 1272 right there at $8.37. I think we will stop somewhere in this area. And with the 1414, little known fact about the 1414 here is that it's very common to push just through there. Okay, we've done the math several times with XRP to Bitcoin, and where the XRP to Bitcoin chart likely will go. Here, we'll just do it real quick. I won't do the math on it, but just trust me when I tell you that we have done the math. You look at how you've consolidated, right? You look at how you've been doing this in this lower end. You've been finding resistance here to a point and then rejecting, a point, rejecting. You've been flirting with it, living. You're behaving differently than normal. I think you're going to break out to the upside is what I'm getting at, okay? When you break out, where are you going to go? If here's your shelf of resistance, where are you going to go whenever you break out? You've been down here since 2020. Since 2019, where are you going to go? Are you just going to stop at the first level of resistance? You consolidated all this time for years, for literally like 6 years just to stop here? I don't think so. I think, personally, you're going to go up to the next shelf. You're going to go all the way up here. Maybe even a little bit higher, right? If we're actually looking for respect, right there, yeah. Right up there. And if you make a move like this versus Bitcoin, you guys, XRP is going to have to grow phenomenally versus the US dollar. And we've done the math as far as what that would get you. And if Bitcoin's at the areas that I think it'll be at, which is like $150,000 to $180,000, that actually equates to XRP seeing prices that are around $13 to $17.50. Actually, that's what it comes out to be. So whenever I say that we're going to 837, 1357 or higher, that's what I mean, and that's why I mean it. Now, another thing that I'm expecting to happen is that once XRP gets up here versus Bitcoin, I'm thinking that I don't believe that XRP will see new all-time highs versus Bitcoin by the end of the cycle. I think that when it comes to your growth on this chart, the XRP to BTC chart, I think when it comes to growth, you're going to see most of the growth that you will see this whole cycle. It's going to happen by the end of June. And then you're not going to see that crazy growth for the rest of the cycle. What you're going to do is you're going to maintain these readings and slowly grow towards your all-time high. So you'll see slightly higher highs, stuff like that. But you're basically at the quote-unquote end of your cycle versus Bitcoin, and then you'll begin to consolidate. As you're up here, as you are slowly gaining grounds and seeing higher prices, but not breaking above new all-time highs, but getting to this area, when Bitcoin sees its prices of $400,000, $500,000 or more by the end of the cycle, XRP is going to see some phenomenal growth, right? If we go to Google Calculator here, I suppose the main point of this, I didn't mean for it to get this way, but we're going to talk about the end of the cycle stuff because we've talked about this next move plenty of times. So we measure from like this area here, this line, but I think if we take from the monthly all-time high, that's at 30143. Let's just say that. 143. If Bitcoin's at 500K by the end of the cycle, by the time XRP tops off, it'll be after Bitcoin's already topped off. So Bitcoin will probably be worth less than 500K. Let's just say Bitcoin's worth 400,000 when XRP tops off, right? Let's say it's worth 400,000. I think it'll be worth more than that. But at this price versus Bitcoin, XRP, if Bitcoin was worth $4,000 or $400,000, what would XRP be? It's a $57 price, you guys. That's nuts. That's bananas. That's crazy, right? The reason why we're talking about this is because XRP has much larger potential than just a $17 price. It's just a $13 price. And we do have this 1886 all the way up at $67, right? I don't even know. What would that be? Let's just see real quick. Hold on. Times 500K. I don't think XRP would top off when Bitcoin's at 500. I think it would top off after. That's 71. Maybe, man. Maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe you can. Because here's the deal. I've been wrestling with this for a little while, right? We've been calling for $43, and the main reason we've been doing that is I've been being conservative on what I'm expecting out of XRP to Bitcoin here. But I was looking at this earlier. I think that we will grow all the way up to this area. I don't think that we'll stop below this line here. I think that we'll go either to this line or above this line by the end of June. And when it comes to the end of the cycle, I don't think that we're going to be down here. I think that XRP to BTC, it'll be up in this area, but a little bit higher. So the next logical area is here. We could go higher, but we're sticking with this area here, right? And maybe it's a little bit lower, maybe it's a little bit higher, whatever. But in the proximity of just these crazy, crazy numbers, $50, $70, the reason why it makes sense is because what doesn't make sense is to stop somewhere in the middle between the 1618 and the 1886. To me, that doesn't make sense to stop there. Right. The only way we can make sense out of that is from the cycle high last cycle to the bear market low. We do have a 2618 extension right there at $43. But if you were to break above this golden ratio here, the next target is $67, and that lines up right with the base of our money zone here, the 2886, $72, $67.72. We've done the math. It can happen. It can absolutely happen. So, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but you guys, some crazy shenanigans might be coming our way for XRP, and the way that I've kind of rationalize this in my head as to how this could happen is that Ethereum has underperformed. It has largely underperformed this cycle. And that money's going to have to go somewhere. And that attention is going to have to go somewhere. And XRP, before it got sued by the SEC, did flip Ethereum for a very short time. Wouldn't it be crazy? Wouldn't it be wild that if instead of waiting for Ethereum to take off, if the crypto markets, the altcoin cycle, the altcoins themselves are waiting for XRP to take off, and XRP becomes the mommy coin? It's not going to be the mommy coin like Ethereum because it doesn't have ERC20s, stuff like that. It's not the same in that kind of aspect. But I really do wonder if we're going to see a transfer of wealth from Ethereum into XRP and belief from Ethereum into XRP, and XRP reclaims its spot at number 2. And the only way that I rationalize that is with crazy phenomenal growth, man. $67, $72, I could see it happening. $43 is possible. $27, you guys, is the minimum standard. Minimum. And I can't even see that happening, because whenever we do the math to Bitcoin, we apply that to a realistic expectation for where Bitcoin's going to be at the end of the cycle. I can't see you stopping at $27. So genuinely for me, $43 by the end of the cycle is the expectation. 72. I've gotten only more friendly with these crazy high targets, and I don't care what the market cap is, man. I think XRP can and will see a multi-trillion-dollar market cap. Will it be this cycle? I suppose I'm calling for that, but if not this cycle, sometime next cycle. But I really do expect that we're going to see prices at least at $27, man. But genuinely, I'm thinking more heavily now than I ever have that we could see a $67 to $72 price. And time will tell. We'll see how it goes. But I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. That went on a whole different note than I thought it was going to go. We were just going to talk about the short-term stuff, but the short-term stuff hasn't really changed up too much. The only thing that's worth new that's worth talking about is this relative idea of a bull flag here, which could take us up to 266. 266 would be a big deal because it's above this high here, closing above that high, separating from this downtrend. That gets you set up for this next phenomenal move that you're going to have, which by the end of June, I'm expecting XRP will be worth at a minimum $8.37, but I really am expecting that you'll see prices above $11, potentially as high as $17 by the end of June. So good things coming. Patience is a virtue. I know I'm talking to the right community whenever I talk about patience, but you're almost there, man. The light, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think it's going to really start to develop over the coming weeks, coming months. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.